If you don't have a money-back guarantee set up on your site, I guarantee you that people aren't as willing to buy from you as they could be. Now, I'm sorry for that terrible pun, but money-back guarantees are huge for removing fear and building confidence that buying from you is the right decision for this customer. So today, I'm going to be telling you all about why this works, looking at some great examples of money-back guarantees for you to understand this concept a little bit better, and finally showing you exactly how to implement your own money-back guarantees. My name is Trent Kennelly. I'm a marketing strategist, and on this channel, I talk about all the things that you can do to improve your business through marketing, sales, and analytics. So if that sounds good to you and you're excited, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, comment to let me know what money-back guarantee you've ever come across that really did make you think, okay, I just feel a little bit better about this. I think I'll go ahead and make that purchase. I'd love to know what it was, where it came from, etc. We can always use more good examples. But until then, let's get started. All right, let's talk about why this works. So we already know what it is. This is an offer that is implied in its own name, so a money-back guarantee. It's a promise to the buyer that they will get their money back within certain rules as long as they decide that they don't want the product anymore. So what it does is twofold. It first reduces the risk. It makes them feel like there is no risk involved in making that purchase. So it gets that front-end action so they go, okay, I'm not really at risk. I can always send it back if I want to. And then it has this thing called the endowment effect once they have it in their possession. So the endowment effect is a feeling of increased worth by the mere fact of owning something. It drives this feeling of loss when you have something in your possession and you're going to potentially lose it. So just to illustrate this point, let's say that I have a money-back guarantee for an office chair that I'm selling. The guarantee is 30 days to love it or send it back for a full refund. Nothing else other than that, just 30 days you have to make the decision. So you decide to buy it, you decide it's good quality, and 30 days goes by. You have the option now to send it back or keep it up to and on this 30th day. You spent that money already. You did it 30 days ago. You have the product, it's in your possession, and the vast majority of people are not going to want to send it back because it's already part of their stuff, it's already incorporated into them, and in a lot of cases, it's part of their identity. Now, maybe that's less true for an office chair than it is for, say, a mattress, but one way or another, it's part of your ecosystem. This is now something that you have in your possession, and the idea of sending it back, even though you're getting full money in return, is a feeling of loss, and you don't want that feeling of loss. So let's look at a few examples with some real world impact. First, I want to talk about Casper. So Casper is an online mattress company. They offer a 100-day sleep on it trial. So you buy the mattress and sleep on it for 100 days. If you decide that you want to send it back, you can without issue, but because you already bought it, it's in your house and it's been over 3 months since you bought it, you don't want to return it. You consider it yours, which in your eyes makes it worth more and gives you the sense of loss by sending it back, even though you're going to get the same amount of money back that you spent to get this product. So the return rate here is going to be very low. Next, let's talk about Shopify. So this one's really interesting. So this is a website that allows you to build your own e-commerce website fast and easily. You've probably heard of it before. It's a paid subscription that specifically focuses on e-commerce websites. If you want to use Shopify, you can start with a free trial, which gives you access to the entire platform, unfettered access for a 14-day period. So practically what is happening here? You sign up, you add your products, you build your site, and you take it live. This is all possible with Shopify in that 14-day period. But here's the kicker. Let's assume that you've decided that Shopify is not for you after 14 days. You have a live website that could be driving some traffic and some sales. And in order to move it to something else, you have to transfer the domain, the hosting, the products, set up a new dropshipping option, redesign the site, a huge amount of things. That's not even all of them. This is an expensive hassle that could take weeks or months. So you probably will decide at that point, it's too much of a loss, it's too much of a hassle. You're gonna keep things as they are. So you're gonna start paying Shopify post-trial because you're already embedded in this system, and this is not the moment you feel to do that. And so you feel that sense of loss. Next, let's talk about Warby Parker. So Warby Parker is the first online glasses brand that sells glasses to people anywhere in the world so that they can try them on and get them shipped directly to their house instead of having to go to some standalone location and go through all the try-on stuff and all of the mess that goes along with getting new glasses. So what they have here for their money-back guarantee is a home try-on program. So they're gonna send you 5 pairs to try on at home, and you can just send back what you don't want. So this may not sound like exactly the same thing, but what's happening here is that even though you're getting 5 pairs, you know that 4 of them are going to go back and you're probably going to keep 1 of them. And even if you don't keep 1 of that 5 set, you're going to get a new 5 set. So you will be picking a pair of glasses from Warby Parker at the end of this, and if you don't, you're going to feel a loss for having not done so. And the final example is MailChimp. So MailChimp is a marketing email service for businesses. I generally don't recommend them because there are far more advanced systems out there that are competitively priced. I suggest ActiveCampaign for this. If you want more info, you can check out this video on ActiveCampaign versus MailChimp. But in any case, MailChimp provides a free forever plan. So you can keep up to 2,000 contacts, the ability to send emails, access to landing pages, etc. on MailChimp, so that once you load those contacts in, you're gonna start to feel like you don't want another system. The idea is that you see how good MailChimp is. Again, I disagree with that, but I digress. You start sending from them and then you start to get your roots in the system. You don't really want to go anywhere else. And you feel a loss at the idea of having to leave this system and go to another system and go through the hassle of setting that all up. So now that we've seen a bunch of different ways to implement money back guarantees, let's talk about how you can do that yourself. The first step here actually doesn't have a direct link to money back guarantees. It's to focus on that product or service. You want to make this something that people actually feel like they're going to lose if they send it back or if they ask for that money back. If you're producing something low quality, people are less likely to see continued value in it. So don't make your professional orchestra flute out of plastic. People probably aren't going to see as much value in that. And so they're going to want to return it anyway. They're not going to feel the loss at losing the product. They're going to feel the loss at having spent the money in the first place. So you don't want that. You want them to have something high quality so that they don't feel like they have junk. Next, identify the pain or the hesitation. So a guarantee only works if it puts people at ease. But before you can put them at ease, you have to be able to identify why they're nervous in the first place. And most often the focus here is on money, but money is kind of the surface level. It's not the core of the thing. So maybe they're afraid to drop $800 on a new mattress because they've never tried the mattress before and it's coming from some online company. But you can try the mattress way more at home than you would ever be able to try it in a showroom. Maybe they're nervous because that Apple computer is way more expensive than their IBM computers ever were. Well, you get to try that Apple computer and then return it if it doesn't work. So you're looking for the reason that people are nervous, not necessarily for why they're afraid to spend the money, because the money is the overarching question, but it is rooted in something else. What if it's not good enough? What if it doesn't meet my expectations? What if I've been lied to or grifted? Next, you want to workshop approaches. There are many ways to approach this problem, regardless of whether you're a product or you're a service. Once you've identified the fear in that last step, this is largely a marketing activity. So the question that you're asking is, what's gonna have that biggest impact? What's gonna slap someone in the face? A 100-day sleep on it trial is impactful. 100 days feels like an eternity. It feels like it's so long from now. And by the time you get to the end of that 100-day period, that endowment effect has taken hold really hard. Like there is just no releasing it. MailChimp's free forever plan has that same powerful punch. It's free forever. For years, for 10, 15, 20 years down the road, it will always be free. Because by the time you're about to outgrow it, you've already probably been on that platform for a while because you signed up with it being free and now it's been, I don't know, a year maybe, and you're kind of stuck there. You're there. So you don't want to leave it. It's very, very impactful in that same way. So what I would suggest here is that you write down anything that you can think of, no matter how wild it might seem, to start the brainstorming session, and then you can start to narrow it down from there. So let's start to build one together here. Let's look at Zappos for a second. Now, Zappos is an online shoe retailer. They've been around for a long time. I personally have never bought anything from Zappos, and I don't know what their guarantee looks like. I've never looked at it. So what are some good approaches that we could use for them without knowing anything about their money back guarantee process? Well, we know that the fear is that people aren't going to like the shoes and will have wasted their money when they pay for shoes and get them shipped from Zappos. We also know that unlike with glasses, where people tend to wear one pair of glasses, people have multiple pairs of shoes. So copying that Warby Parker approach of here's 5 pairs, you send back 4, is probably not going to make much sense, at least not exactly. So here are a few possible options that I see that could be tested. A 14-day wear it trial, 30-day money-back guarantee on all purchases, no stress, an at-home try-on, and you send back what you don't want, you only pay for what you keep. all of these should be tested. Now they sound very similar, and in fact they are, but it is, again, largely a marketing activity. So you want to position it in the right way that really entices people in the beginning so that you really push that endowment effect by the end. Next, run a cost benefit analysis. So remember that this is an activity that can end up costing you money. So it's important to be smart about how you make your offer. You're looking for a balance between the cost of potential loss and the benefit in terms of how many more people are likely to buy with a money-back guarantee in front of you. Some of these money-back guarantees might be more expensive if you have more expensive products, like in the case of Casper and their mattresses that could be $800 or $1,000 or whatever, but it could also result in a greater benefit down the road if you play it right. So you need to find the right fit between this cost and the potential upside on the other side. Finally, you need to test your hypothesis. So at this point, your money-back guarantee ideas are only theories. You need to test them to know really what is going to work. The best way to do that is to A/B test. You can check out this video for a lot of details on A/B and split testing, but here are the basics as they relate to money-back guarantees. So here's what I would suggest. Put out a small scale ad or email or something that gets to around 10% of your audience or 2,000 people, whichever is more, but I really wouldn't go above that number because you don't want it to be super public. You just want people to give you that information that you need. This ad is gonna send them to one of two different landing pages. One of those landing pages is gonna have the guarantee, one is gonna have them without a guarantee, or if you have multiple guarantees, maybe you used to have guarantee A, B, and C, then you would need to test guarantee A against no guarantee, guarantee B, and guarantee C. You would also need to test guarantee B against no guarantee, guarantee A, and guarantee C, etc. So you need, I don't know, what is that, like 10 tests, something like that, to absolutely be sure that you have the right guarantee on offer and that the guarantee is having an effect. Because if you're only going in there and you're testing, say, guarantee A against no guarantee, then you don't have full information about what's going to work the best. So there you go, I hope that that was helpful. There are some huge gains that you can get from putting people at ease and making them see that they are going to get their money back if anything else goes wrong. Honestly, we're like guinea pigs online. We are just constantly on edge and constantly afraid. So anything that puts us at ease is gonna help with those sales. Let me know what the best guarantee you've ever come across was and if that really convinced you to make that purchase or not. I would love to know what it was, who the company was. Just want to get some more great examples out there. Otherwise, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, and I will catch you in the next one.